contact with us.
I've understood.
You'll make contact?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Come on.
Hi. This would be interesting. Yeah. I'm Marge Conti. I live at 122 North Riverside Avenue. She is my neighbor, but that's not the reason I'm here. The V&A is tax exempt, from what I understand. If the V&A is tax exempt, shouldn't we be allowed to use their parking lot without them having their cars towed?
You know something? I was surprised when
They do.
said that. I was very surprised because, again, I was under the impression that you could use their parking lot at night, just like if you use the parking lot where I'm at during the day. The landlord isn't here. And I thought that you could use it. Now, if you don't use it, that merits a discussion with the head of the V&A, which I will be very happy to have.
All right, every once in a while, I think they have some kind of meetings or something, and they block off the cones right across the whole V&A parking lot. So you can't get in or out of there.
Well, I mean, if they're having a meeting, if they're busy, they're busy. But I'm talking about when they're not having a meeting.
Yeah.
And at night, when the parking lot is empty, you should be able to use it as long as you're out in the morning, which is what the policy is at the postal building.
All right, I have lived at 122 North Riverside Avenue for close to 30 years, going on 40 years. And as you know, it's gotten worse and worse, the parking. Luckily, I have a garage, so I don't have to have that problem. But that's just one of the issues I'm up here for. The second one is, I was here one time last year about the restaurants using the sidewalks to increase their business. They put their tables and everything out on the sidewalks. It's improved a little bit, but there's one, I believe it's called a temple, I'm not too sure. They have these flower pots, big, huge ones, excuse me, and they roll them. So you have to walk all the way around. Instead of walking on the sidewalk, and it's called the sidewalk, and that's what it's supposed to be used for. Instead of walking on the sidewalk, a couple of times I almost bumped right into these pots that they have up there. So I think something should be done about that.
We'll look into it.
All right, another one. I have been to the police department about this a few times. There's people that have bicycles, they ride on the sidewalks.
Common problem, yeah.
I've almost got hit a few times because I walk on the sidewalks. I'm a walker.
City of Asbury Park Police Department and their specials, especially their specials, enforce the no bicycles on the boardwalk or on the sidewalk every single day. And I know that because I prosecuted in Asbury for a long time, and they do it every day, and police officers do it. It's not beneath them to do it. I think we ought to do the same thing in Red Bank. You ought to be on foot patrol if somebody's on a bicycle. Give them a warning. Because a lot of them don't know. If you see them again, give them a ticket.
I went to the police department and I told them. And the police department told me, well, they can use them as long as there's no traffic. I don't mean it that way. They said they could ride their bicycles on the sidewalk. It's, you know,
It violates
safety.
motor vehicle laws.
Absolutely. They call sidewalks. What does that say?
Yeah,
Walk.
sidewalks are for pedestrians. Bicycles have to be on a road.
Yeah. Well, this is what the police department told me.
Well,
It's like,
sorry about that.
no, that's okay. That's basically it. But I'm just a little annoyed with these.
No, I mean, it is a problem. We've had a couple of incidents that a few years ago where pedestrians were not seriously injured, but they were, coming out of the store. One of them was startled because they didn't look, and a cyclist came by, and especially elderly individuals are, they can't move as fast as they did before.
Yeah, well, the Cross Fitness that's on Palm Street.
Yeah, Marvin Street is fine. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I was walking along. No, what they were doing, they were letting their runners warm up on the sidewalk. So we had these runners running down the sidewalk from Cross Fitness, and you're trying to walk, and the runners are running because they're doing I guess it's a relay type thing that they do.
even runners can use the sidewalk. They ought to be respectful of walkers, but they can use the
They
sidewalk.
can use the sidewalk. Pedestrian. I got that cleared up. Okay, thank you. And I'm also, I didn't mean to bring it up, but I'm also.
No, but they're good issues because, you know, we do hear them, and you're absolutely right. I mean, that we should be enforcing, but I think part of it is education, more so than, you know, issuing tickets. Some people don't necessarily are used to the lifestyle that we have here. And so, first step is you educate them, give them a flyer with a picture that bicycles on the street, and which side of the street they're supposed to go. And then you see the same people again, and start issuing summonses. But again, Asbury Park does it every day.
Yeah, but these restaurants that take up almost the whole sidewalk, they need about this much room. I mean, that's wrong. And that other restaurant that wheels out these great big, I think it's called Temple, they wheel out these great big planters, and they put them right on the sidewalks. I thought it almost looked.
Oh, they were tomato plants.
They're fake plants. But they're big planters, and they wheel them out. And yet, you know, you have about this much to walk. And if you're walking on that sidewalk, and you don't realize it, you walk right into it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Yes, ma'am. Go ahead. He's a gentleman, go wave to the ladies.
He had his first chance already, right?
Okay, let's get to it.
Okay. Hi, Tracy Constant, 376 Shrewsbury Avenue. I want to say hello and thank you. Welcome. It's the first time I've been here at a council meeting. I just want to say, Mark and Michael, good to see you. Don't give up. And you just only 6 months into it. You're very welcome. And one thing a real question is, he's silly, but this clinging jellyfish, do we have any understanding if what's going on with our river? Have we actually started to exercise?
Probably the person that could answer that would be Council President Burnham. She, I think, had stepped out recently. Oh, I'll bring it to her attention.
Yeah.
She probably has more information on that than the rest of us do.
And even at the local level, beyond that, I'm just going to say this, but she would be the person anyway. But if this becomes a bigger problem, is it possible that we can turn to higher levels of government as far as funding to eradicate if feasible, which is
What local governments fund?
higher levels of government as
Well,
far as
that's what the state DEP is supposed to be doing, and yeah, so they have programs for that, but again, Cindy's aware of it, so I'm sure we'll be able to.
I would also urge you to bring that up maybe with the Environmental Commission, because I know they're doing a lot with the river right now, so that would be a topical issue for them as well.
I also understand that there have been some reports, which you just, now you just segue on that. From what I understand, the polluted aspect of the most western part of the river, west of the bridge, is there anything going on? Does anybody know about that? I'm just curious, because I heard that it's really...
The report that was published in the papers was actually a report that was done in 2007, revised in 2008. We did extensive work as a result of pollution found coming out of some outfalls that were directly attributable to overflowing septic tanks,
Okay.
which were eliminated. We actually did extensive work to eliminate a lot of non-source pollution from Red Bank. Recently, water testing showed that they have high bacteria counts east of Red Bank, in Fairhaven and Rumson, which the DEP decided to close planting beds in that area to downgrade that portion of the river. And in my discussions with DEP, we actually held a meeting here with Clean Ocean Action, with DEP, and members of the University River Community representatives. That they're concerned with outfalls from across the river to the creeks, and that the studies are ongoing.
Is some of that also fertilizer that is actually started?
Exactly. Fertilizer, livestock, horses, bacteria, all of that.
Full report on that will be made by the Environmental Commission, as Councilman Taylor has indicated. They've been studying it, and I know that there's been a lot of dialogue about that. So I think we're doing what we're supposed to be doing, and DEP has been doing their share. PT2 has been doing their share also.
One final question.
Sure.
Yes? Are you allowed to park on your front lawn?
I'm sorry?
Are you allowed to park on your front lawn?
Well, you have a parking, if you have a driveway that is a driveway that is established and paved, if that's in your front lawn, I guess yes, but otherwise, no.
Okay,
Right.
so how about, I have a driveway and I have a neighbor. There's a driveway on the other side of their house. They use my driveway to park on a non-driveway side of their house and on their front lawn.
Well, did you talk to your neighbor?
What would you do?
I would talk to my neighbor.
No, that's not reasonable.
Oh, me talking to my
Realistically, the
neighbor's
law
not
should be, and it should be to help people think about it.
I would ask my neighbor, you know. what do you
The
do?
answer is, I believe we do have a, but it is in the ordinance, we can't park in the front lawn.
Okay.
Yes.
If you have that complaint, call code enforcement,
Okay.
and we'll address it.
Okay. So
Here's
my,
the address of that place, and we'll look, and we'll take care of it.
okay. So why hasn't anybody in the last, since 2007, when I moved into this town, why has it not been cited? Don't people drive around and look for violations? So why is it not yet ever been addressed? I know there's no real answer, but it's a good question.
No, that's a good question.
I don't know if that's a true statement. I think we have addressed it in some instances where we had complaints. There are others that have been existing long before we had the ordinance, so it depends on, it's a case-by-case matter.
Yeah, okay. I'm 2 doors away from a major intersection, so very highly visible. Once again, since 2007, it has never seemingly been addressed because they still do it. So other than me complaining, that's the only way. I'm just a little surprised, a little disappointed that if code enforcement's doing their job, they should, you know, be aware of this. It's quite obvious. But, so I guess complain.
You'll look at,
Give me the address after the meeting.
Okay, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
okay, thank you. Steve?
Stephen Heck, 135 Branch Avenue. I'll be very brief. The ADP, have we found a vendor for the assessment demonstration program?
Again, we're waiting for a proposal from the adjoining community. We're looking for shared service to, for the inspection part of it.
Which committee? I'm sorry.
Another community.
Another community.
This is a negotiation, I can't really say.
No, that's fine. And how long, what is the deadline for choosing a vendor for our participation in the ADP?
They have a vendor, and we're looking to partner with them with their contract.
I understand the process that we're looking at. My question is, how long do we have not to have a vendor? And will we be defaulting to Realty Appraisal Company if we don't have a vendor?
I don't have an answer to the deadline. I know we want to pursue it and get it done soon, within this next month.
Well, somebody should-
Hopefully by next meeting,
So,
we'll have.
well, that's what you said last meeting.
I understand it.
Right.
But it didn't happen.
Okay. I don't understand how we can meet a deadline if we don't know what it is.
Exactly, I'll have to look into the deadline.
And how will I know that?
Give me your email, and I'll send you an email when we know.
I shall do so.
Okay.
Thank you. Just one other thing. If we don't negotiate with the other community and we are back at square one, does that mean we're going back to Realty Appraisal
There are
Company?
others in the field.
Well, but this company has 85% of the
Oh, I know
town.
that, but
Yeah.
that doesn't mean that they have 100%, and I think that there is sensitivity to making sure that we look outside the box on this issue.
Okay, but I gather we're not looking at the moment.
No, we have
We're depending-
options, Steve, we have options. We could hire our own inspectors and do it ourselves, part-time guys.
Yeah,
So there are
that's
options.
really going to save us money.
But if it's the same amount,
I think we've said enough, he's negotiating with the municipality, and if that doesn't pan out, then there are other options with contractors.
And do you know what the deadline is? I mean, when does the next phase of ADP impact Red Bank?
I know that we haven't reached it, we have plenty of time to act on it. I don't know the exact date, I have not committed to
Will Mr.
Give me your
Sickles,
question.
will Mr. Sickles have the date?
When you give me the questions, I'll make it.
I'll email you the question.
Yes, that'd be great.
Very good. Thank you.
Good evening.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jimmy Don,
Well, I
48.
think it's evening now.
Oh,
It's
48,
gonna be a lot darker outside.
48 West Sunset Avenue. Oh, the first thing I want to comment on is about Mr. Boyd. Mr. Boyd is a very good person, and he'll do anything for anybody 24/7. And I think, no person should be threatened in any kind of way. And I always figure how you make a better town or state for anybody to live in. I said, it's really sad when you hear things like that. I mean, to disrupt somebody's life. But the next thing I want to talk about is Councilman Zippridge. This is the question I have for you. The street sweeper comes down on the left side, but then I said, then this guy, I said, oh, he's gonna get the right side too. The guy never got the right side. So people, you got older people around here said, and I said, well, when I go down here, the thing I'm pushing, I'm gonna ask, don't do one side, but then you don't do the other side. How you make a place presentable for people to live? And you figure you see stuff out there, this disrupted. And I said, it's really sad when you have two street sweepers. But I said, God, maybe the guy gonna come back around. The guy never came back around. And the next thing I want to talk to Mayor, the thing you're talking about, the power, JCPNL.
What street was that?
48 West Sunset Avenue.
Yeah.
And then the next thing I want to talk to, Mayor, I'll mention this to you. You're talking about JCPNL and the things they wanted to do. And I said, now, trees are going up into the power line. And I said, now, this is since the Sandy storm. And then the trees going to keep going up and up. And every time you have a storm or the wind blows real bad, you just see this. I said, after a while, the trees are going to go up in the line and start shoving the lines. And I said, God forbid it be a fire or something like that. But I said, no tree should be up in the power line and down on the corner. And you got a tree, I said, what is this, a car shed? You got a tree that's hanging out like this. And then at nighttime, you look and you can barely see the stop sign. And I said, a couple of times I looked out there and people just go right through it. Go right through the stop sign. And I said, it's really scary sometimes. You close your eyes and say, oh my God, this. And then at nighttime, then I said, this, it's really sad. My thing is, no tree, a backyard tree should be put out on the front. And then everything should be pruned and nice and respectful. I said, it's really sad when you see stuff like this. And I said, nothing really, only time I know you did help me out one time, and I appreciate that time, you took care. And I said, no tree should be planted out like that. And it's a backyard tree to be put out to the curb. And just growing out wild. And I said, man, you can get a tree a haircut or a shape up or a flat top or something, but to keep it from growing out of the ordinary. And I said, it should be going.
Sure, there's West Side at Layton?
No, I live there, West Sunset.
West Sunset at
Yeah.
Layton?
Yes, right on the corner of West Sunset Avenue and Layton.
Layton. Mr. Keene will look into that.
And then where I live at, the tree has been like that. That thing been there 15 years. And now, now the tree is up there. So when you go outside at night, I gotta have a flashlight or a searchlight. They're saying I can go out there and stand out there and play hide and seek with somebody.
Because it blocks the street light.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's blocked the street light, and this is going on 15 years. And I said, well, God, somebody stand out there, and sometimes you have people think this is a truck stop or Inspiration Point. And a couple of years back, it was Lover's Lane. People out there, one of my former neighbors went out there, disrupt their picnic and whatever they was doing. And I said, you shouldn't have to be going through all this stuff. And you got older people there, and they said, what's out there? So let me go out here and see this. And you go out there, it's a daggone shadow, and somebody do go out there, you can't tell who it is. And I said, no, I'm not going out there, because I don't know who it is, they don't live around here. And I mean, to have a tree, to blossom out, I understand the tree give off air and oxygen, H2O, but still, when you plant a tree, take care of a tree. And nobody shouldn't have to be out there, even, I only might come down here sometime, talk about this thing. And I said, it's the same thing over and over. 15 years is a long time. And I always figured, I said, let me come down here and talk to the whole council, and Mayor, then I come ahead and direct this to you, because 15 years, this, and I said, what is it gonna go? Another 5 years, maybe 20 years. And then about the street sweeper, I'm gonna concentrate on that, because it doesn't make no sense to skip somebody and make people frustrated and to see stuff out there on the street like that. You know, people try to keep things clean, and it shouldn't hit or miss. Then people get mad because people come down here and say stuff, but it's the truth of what you see. And you say, I can't help but seeing this. And it just keep, and it's a general thing, on and on.
Mr. Dark, did you see the sweeper come down the street?
Yeah.
And were the cars parked on the other side of the street?
No. Well, I mean, you got some things there, but I mean, it was there, you can do it. And on my side, and I'm sitting there and said, oh, he's gonna come down, he's gonna come down. And he never came down. So I just said, I don't know if the thing broke down or ran out of gas.
It did, Jimmy. The last couple of weeks we've had problems. We have a new sweeper on order, and Director Keene has informed me that the street sweeper has, even though they've had it on the road, it's been broken down a couple of times in the last couple of weeks, and we're, anxiously awaiting the arrival of the new machine.
Yeah, but I appreciate what you said, Councilman, but I could say, anybody, the whole council, even the lady right here, she has a very nice smile. I just said Attorney Jean, and I said it helps, give a person a smile when you see people out there, older people, younger people, and make people's day pleasant. When the sun shines, you want to see them happy. But when you see people mad, and then you be back away from them. But I just said, it shouldn't even be like this, a town like this. Get look and write, write stuff down, what's going on, when is this stuff going to be taken care of. And then one thing, I'm Mr. Superman Manor, I understand they need a parking garage, but can they, I know they can squeeze a little bit out there and put sign, slow down, children playing, and pedestrian, because I mean, nobody should have to look, everybody gonna look both ways when you step off the curb. But when you see stuff like this, I mean, it's ridiculous. To step out there and say, maybe, you know what, I'm not old, but I mean, anybody shouldn't have to step out there and look 10 times before the cars come down the street.
I agree.
So that's why I keep mentioning this to you, Mayor Bennett, because, it just go on and on and on. Somebody said by the time you do this, you can write you're going to have about maybe 100 sheet of piece of paper. The same thing on. And that's why I came here tonight to mention this to you. And Mayor Bennett, I was the council. Mayor Bennett, I appreciate y'all looking into these things.
Very good.
Thank you. Have a nice evening.
Thank you. Tommy?
Good evening, Tom Levitti, 45 Elm Place. I'm going to go fast. Just wanted to bring to you the attention of the council an issue of abandoned homes, in-ground pools, and waterborne viruses such as Zika. And if it's possible, I'd like to share a proclamation by the mayor of Woodbridge and talk to you about what they're doing in Woodbridge regarding this issue. Would I be able to pass that out to you guys?
Sure.
This is also a picture of my neighbor. Sure. I've also included a picture of my next door neighbor. The home next to me would be considered a zombie home or abandoned home. They have an in-the-ground pool. What the mayor of Woodbridge and
Wait.
Yes.
You're referring to the home next to you as an abandoned home?
Yes.
Is somebody living there?
No. It's gone through the foreclosure process.
In other words, there's nobody living?
There's nobody, yes.
Okay. Has the bank taken possession?
The bank has now finally gone through a sheriff's sale back in January.
Okay. Yeah, I can tell you that I tried a few years ago to bring in an abandoned property ordinance to town, as is evident in many other municipalities. I successfully did one in 2 other municipalities in Malden County as borough attorney that have very draconian measures that if a property is vacant for in excess of a number of months and then it goes into a year, they have to register it. Costs them a lot of money, The second year, the registration fee goes up. If it's $500, it'll be $2,500. The third year, instead of $2,500, it's $5,000. Frankly, that it's a good ordinance. It came about initially by Mayor Booker when he was mayor of Newark. And as someone who spends quite a bit of time in the city of Newark, I can tell you that it was successful in many of the streets that 10 years ago had a lot of abandoned properties because of the draconian nature of the ordinance and the licensing of the ordinance. Either banks or slumlords or property owners who have walked away will turn them back over to the municipality, which then can auction those particular lots at a public auction. Makes all the sense in the world. I didn't have the support of the council at that time. If the council wishes to look into it once again, I completely favor that. I will ask the borough attorney to take a look at it. I have some model ordinances that I've personally worked on. And she has also in one of the towns that she represents. And, you know, it's not a bad idea, but again, you know, you need the support to be able to do it. I tried about 5 years ago, and I didn't have the support.
That was going to be my question. Is there an ordinance? Because it seems as though the mayor...
We don't have it. It didn't get passed.
The town of Woodbridge does have such an ordinance, and the mayor is acting on it to the point where they are now actually going physically and filling in pools, such as my neighbor's pool. And I'm not, I hope my neighbor's is going to be resolved soon, but I'm talking more in general for the town.
No, and again, it's a good ordinance. I've actually physically seen the benefit of it, and even in smaller towns in Monmouth County where I've had to do it, I do see these properties being sold either by lending institutions or by homeowners at reasonable amounts that will recycle the properties. Somebody buys it, they put money into it, and they start living in it, and it makes sense.
Right. And my home was assessed north of $650,000, and you can see what's right next door to it.
Yeah, you don't have to go into it. I favor it. I favored it 5 years ago. It didn't go anywhere. If the council supports it, we can do it.
Fair. Thank you, Mayor.
They can study it, but, you know, they'll take a look at
Give
it.
the address.
I do.
I live at 45 Elm Place. That's number 47. And I have young children. On the opposite side, there's another family with young children. Zeke is in the news all the time. I don't know if that's the main cause here, but that was the impetus of the mayor of Woodbridge to initiate the filling in of the pools as a public health hazard. I don't know, that would be a question beyond an ordinance towards the borough attorney. Is there something we could do as a public health nuisance to force the filling in of say, that in-the-ground pool next to me? Sorry, rhetorical mostly.
Just really quickly on the Zika thing, I just want to announce that there is going to be a town hall meeting at the eastern branch of the Monmouth County Library System.
I saw that posted.
June 30th from 7:30 to 8:30. Just so we want to have a meeting before then. So just to get that out there, and I'll put that on Facebook and everything else. You guys can find it. June 30th, 7:30 to 8:30, the Monmouth County Library in Shrewsbury.
Gonna go quick.
And Tom, could you just explain to us what we're looking at in the...
I'm sorry, that's a picture, that's a collage of pictures I took this morning over my fence or out my bedroom window looking at the home next to me. And that is a covered in-the-ground pool that has deteriorated beyond repair. They've put a tarp over it. Now, that certainly doesn't prevent water from collecting in there, and we are, of course, you can't go in our backyard because of the mosquitoes. You know, I've got bug zappers and stuff like that, but you know, I can't use my backyard with my children. But it's not about me.
That's an immediate code now.
And the code enforcement has been great. I've complained over the years, and they've come and done things. I'm not here just to talk about my house. That was more recognizing what the mayor in Woodbridge did and suggesting we look into something similar. Any other? I'll go real quick. Eileen and I went to the Count Basie Theater last week. We saw a show there. And the new reality, I guess, is there was a uniformed Red Bank police officer in the Count Basie Theater throughout the entire show. And I just want to say I appreciated the police being there. And with the new reality of what we have, it's good to see that presence there. It did bring up, we're long-term members, you know, we're big supporters of the Basie, but I did have to wonder who, was that a regular police officer on his regular shift duty? Was that overtime? Is the Count Basie Theater paying for that, or are we paying for that? That was a question I had.
I can't speak for the commissioner, but I would think that, not knowing the details, but I would be very surprised if the borough of Red Bank was paying for any police officer at the Camp Basie Theater. If it's there, the normal protocol is for them to pay the rate. That is
Yeah,
the-
typically, even if you see them at an RBC football game at Camp Basie Field, they're being paid by RBC or some other entities, not being paid out of the borough.
Not looking, I mean, I thought it was great that they had it, so. Camp Basie Theater also, we have the new parking arrangement. We are getting a cut of the parking, is that what my understanding is? Do we know if it's half of the parking or a set fee?
It's a minimum of 10 and half of the net above that.
Okay, because they sent out advertisements and they're advertising at a higher than $20
Minimum
price.
10 per space and half of the net above that, and they pay the expenses that are there covered.
Okay, excellent. Last thing, yesterday, Hackensack and Meridian merged, and they had this big celebration press conference at the Liberty Science Center. You know, that probably cost more than our pilot agreement just to have that press conference. But I just want to highlight a few things from their press release. The combined organization is now the second largest hospital network in New Jersey. The new entity will have $4.3 billion in revenue. Hackensack and Meridian now run 13 hospitals, plus more than 120 ambulatory care centers, surgery centers, urgent care centers. Most of those locations, the overwhelming majority, they pay normal rack rate property tax. Their CEO said that they expect this merger will save the company $250 million. So we're talking about a giant, ridiculously large corporation saving $250 million. Their pilot is roughly $160,000 to us. And based on our very low assessment, the correct tax is probably closer to $2 million a year. With $4.3 billion in revenue, $250 million in savings, honestly, guys, why are they getting any tax break at all from Red Bank residents?
You're taking the step. You told them you're taxable, they got something to prove they aren't. You file those papers last month.
Okay. And has anyone talked to Meridian, or do we know now that we are going to be filing this motion? Do they intend to still continue to make their pilot payment?
They were served.
They were served. And do they intend to make their pilot payment?
They have to.
Oh, they're paying the pilot.
Their pilot, it's nothing to do with it. They have to do that.
Okay.
It doesn't change the pilot. We're saying they're taxable. Now they have to prove they aren't taxable.
It's not within, I thought that was a voluntary agreement they had with us.
It's an agreement.
And they couldn't then say, you are now appealing our tax exempt status, we're going to
It's
withhold that?
nothing to do with it.
They entered into it voluntarily, but it is a contract.
It's a
No,
contract.
that agreement exists, yeah.
Okay. I'm done.
Thanks, Tom.
Mr. Boyd.
Good afternoon, Councilman. 365 Shoot Ave. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
The leg doing better, Mr. Miller. Took the cast off and got the boot on so it comes off.
We're established.
3 weeks.
You're established.
I just want to say a couple of things right quick. I don't want to hold nobody up with you. Mr. Zippers, I noticed last week you made a statement in the newspaper. I feel for what you said, it touches me. No, I hate to say this, but no animal should go around killing people because they don't like things. And I know the feeling that you're going through. If you go somewhere, you don't know who's going to do what because of your living life. It's wrong for somebody to do that. And I came up to up the park the other day when you and y'all was up there speaking. But I came from the doctor, so I sat back. And it's a shame that you got people out here doing stuff like that to people for no reason. I lost a sister in Florida years ago because she was friends with a lesbian and a gay man. And I guess the boyfriend was jealous. My sister's not here talking about it. So I know the feeling. The other thing with Mr. Miller is I feel the same way as Mr. Zippers and anybody else in here when somebody do something like that. When somebody threatens you, it's a dangerous life to live. I can't sleep at night just because this guy said when this cast come off, what do you want to do to me? I got news for you. It's coming off. And this town is too small for both of us now. My family's pissed off because of what he said. As a police officer, imitator, I guess that he's still a police officer. And he locked my whole family up. You know how bitter they are right now? They actually want to know, who is this guy? What is he doing this? What is he saying this from? Why are we hiring these guys, retired police officers, come here and do this? When this come off, I'm telling you, Mr. Silver, it's not over. And you know it. And I saw my kids, my son and my daughter, I lost. It's not over. We're going up in free roll. Statements that you got from my witness, better hold on to them. It's not over. Don't threaten me. Follow up on it. I mean it. The other thing is, Mr. Mayor, call for a digging number. Got the application right here. Call the gas company. They asked me yesterday, how deep are you going? It's 4 inches. Lady said 4 inches. Lift the sidewalk, put it back down.
You're talking about a permit, right?
I mean the permit, I'm sorry.
Okay.
The permit.
I was just trying to...
Okay, I'm sorry. This is the application for the permit. How deep are you digging? I said, it's 4 inches. I'm just lifting it up, putting it back down. I can't give you a digging number. I said, why? She said, because you're not going deep enough to rupture the gas line or water line. I can't give you that digging number. I said, well, the borough ordinance won't give me a permit, so I get it. She said, well, they need to change their policy. Because if we're going to give digging them out for somebody who's digging 3 inches, everybody who plants flowers will be calling us. It's got to be deeper. So I had to say, and I got it on the back of this, Mr. Minute, everything she quoted me, exactly what she told me. And I said, I have to lie and say I'm going 4 feet. She said, now I can give you a digging number. That's how I got this digging number.
What is the limit, do you know? Try to put the detail.
It got to be a foot or deeper.
So it's got to be more than 12 inches, is that it?
I think so. But I had, I didn't want to argue with her. I said, well, I got a paper to say for, sidewalk. She said, what did you do? I said, I lifted up. Back. Well, you're not digging. You just trimmed the tree stump back? I said, yes. And laid it back down. That's not digging. I can't give you a digging number. So I told her, it's on here. I told her that I'm digging 4 foot. So she gave me a digging number. And I got the application here. But I'm just saying, the borough policies, and then you got Frankie Woods saying I'm playing hardball. At the court, I'm playing hardball because I won't drop mine because they won't drop the tickets that I'm willing to pay for whatever. I'm playing hardball. Frankie never came to approach me. He dealt with John Schultz and him. He never approached me, Sam. He never approached me. The other thing is, I got pictures right here I'm going to give you. I done them in front of our lodge. The code enforcement came and said that we have to...
In front of Celestial Lodge?
Yes, Celestial Lodge,
Okay.
number 141 James Parker Road. They said, they inspected the building. They said the sidewalk had a bad break in it. They said the sidewalk had to be fixed. So I went out. I'm going to give you these pictures. You can have these pictures. On the back of them, it's a written. I wrote on the back. I have these pictures. It's on the back of it. So I went out, and I dug it out, and put new concrete in. Code enforcement came back and passed us. We got it in our minutes. It's on there right there, Mr. Miller, on the back of those pictures right now. It's in our minutes. Here, I just raised the sidewalk. Now I went to court. Frankie Wood, not Frankie Wood, yeah, Frankie Wood and John Schultz, not satisfied with the way I laid this sidewalk because it got a little lip on it. The ground, Sammy, I don't know if you've been by there, the picture showed it. The ground is not level. So I got to go back now with this permit, lift it up, and satisfy them. Look at all them sidewalks. Young man back here, the last council meeting, gave the director his address to come by there to see his sidewalk. Did he come by there? Huh?
No, nobody came by.
He gave his address. The director never went by there. Sidewalk is in there. There's pictures in there. What's your address?
48 West Sunset.
Look at the pictures in there. So if they're not satisfied with my sidewalk that I done, I don't think that the code enforcement doing their job when you see those pictures there. And I want you to go and tell Frankie. okay? Look at the sidewalks around here. I want to know how come it's a house on Catherine Street. I'm not naming it, but you know who it is. Y'all look like a pig pit. I want to know how many tickets he got, besides the one on Bank Street. If Frankie was doing his work, I want to know how many he got on Bank Street. I mean, Catherine Street, okay? The other thing is, Mr. Minner, is I don't want to tie y'all up, but it's not right. And I'm telling you, on my kids, I lost my son, I lost my daughter. It's not over. No man walk and threaten me. It's not over. I'm telling you, it's not over.
Thank you, President. Anybody else? Did you have your hand up, Steve? Oh, okay. All right, so we need an executive session. Okay, motion to adjourn to executive session for contract negotiations, no formal action. And personnel, no formal action will be taken. Okay, no formal action will be taken. Thank you for coming. Motion. Second. All in favor? Thank you.